So good evening, those that are starting to come in. I will get kick-started, but I'm just going to wait a few moments. If you do want to say hi and where you're from, that's always great. We're Canada last week. If you're from anywhere, Rhyl, nice place. There's some good running events in Rhyl. I like Rhyl. Nice and flat. Cardiff, Newport, Wrexham, good, just up the road. Brecon, Pembrokeshire. This is good, actually. It's good to know because we're going to do a little bit of geography today, so that's absolutely fine. Pembrokeshire, you lucky people. Caerphilly, very nice. These are some nice places. This is where my terrible Welsh comes in. I'm going to go for Rhondda, but you probably just say Rhondda. That was always the worst thing. When I first moved to North Wales, I moved from North Wales from the southwest, and I got given an email of where my first job was, and it was in Llaniwchog. And I remember having no idea how to pronounce it or even spell it. FN from Cardiff, hello. So just while we're waiting for a few people, I was talking to Beth before we started, and I think we're all looking forward to half term eventually soon. It's already, it's been a bit of a crazy year. But tonight's going to be quite a nice, chilled, relaxed one, really. I'm going to get started because we've got lots to cover. Today, I want to look at quiz, I want to look at quizzing, I want to look at different methods of quizzing and those sorts of activities with students, but I want to step a little bit away from, I think some students are starting to have a little bit of death by Kahoot. I do a lot of observations in schools, and I go in, and when I see a teacher will be like, oh, I'm using Kahoot, and you see students groan, and you go, oh, not again. So the aim for tonight is to really share a few new tools that you may be aware of, or some new ideas, just to start to get you thinking. And I'm going to be looking at 3, and then if we get through them quite quick, I've got a few more up my sleeve, which I'll be happy to go through. But I'm going to start by looking at one called EducaPlay today, or EducaPlay, however you want to pronounce it. I'm going to go for EducaPlay. And then I'm going to look at QuizWizard. And then I'm going to finish up by looking at interactive scavenger hunts, which is really something that I've used quite a lot. And they're a really cool way of making quizzes a bit more physical and up and moving and interactive using either tablets, or Kindles, bits and pieces like that, which is a really fun way of doing it. So what I will do, just for those that haven't been on these sessions before, I share my screen. So what happens is I will just share my screen now. So hopefully you can see that okay. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll put cute. So what happens is when I share my screen, unfortunately I can't hear or see you. But if you do have any questions or queries or anything, or if you'd like me to repeat anything that I've gone through in the past, please don't hesitate to put something in the chat box of the Q&A, and either myself or Beth will spot it. I'm more than happy to pause, go back through it and recap. It's, you know, these sessions are really about how can we make this beneficial for you. It's got to be useful in that way, not about me just blasting through a few tools. So EducaPlay is something that I stumbled across about a month and a half ago on one of my kind of random web searches. And the thing that really appealed to me straight away was that it's games and it's quizzes and it's interactive tools that you can use, but also it's one it's built for both Google Classroom and the Microsoft Teams or Hub. You can use it in both Hub, Google Classroom, Teams. So it's not just a standalone sort of tool, it's something that you can integrate within all the tools that you have. So to log in with this, my EducaPlay that I've logged in with, I've just used my Google account. Now, everything that I'm going to be showing you tonight is the free option. The premium option, if you do want to pay for it, I'll kind of show you these are the things that it's missing or it doesn't have. But I'm just purely focusing on the free option because, I don't want to, I'm a skinflint. I don't want to spend money. There's some great tools on here that you can use for free. So what I'm going to start with, so on your home screen here, as you can see, I've been playing around with this quite a while. I'm going to start with just the basic activities. So on your home screen, you can start with, and let's go for a new activity. Now, straight away, you get a few different options. And I'm going to be looking at Froggy Jumps, crossword. I'm going to be looking at the video quiz, and I'm going to be looking at map quiz as the 4 for today. But I really do recommend having a little look through and playing with them. So Frog Jumps, again, think about the age group that you're working with. It's quite a nice, simple tool to use. So let's start with some questions. Now I have, you can't see it on one screen here, I've got a series of questions. So I'm going to start with some basic questions. So let's go firstly with just a straight text question. I'm going to go to which planet is nearest to Earth? So again, let's type in. There we go. And then you just put your answers in the box below. So let's go for Mercury. Then we're going to go for Venus. And we're going to go for Mars. Now, all of you are probably going, Mars isn't the nearest. I know. So the one that is the correct one, you just click the X next to it. And there's our first question input. Now, with Educaper, you'll see this score here on the side, and that's because before you can publish it, there are standards they like you to meet. So this one, you've got to have it over 25%, so you've got to have a certain number of questions or quality in order to hit that. So let's put another question in. So I'm going to hit add. Now, with these, all of the questions that you can ask for this frog one are multiple choice only. But you can tailor them a tiny bit. So here on this next question, I can add a multimedia file. So I can add a picture. So let's go for adding a picture. So say, for example, I want to put in a picture and I go, okay, there we go. My question is going to be, who is this lad? There we go. And let's put some answers in here. Fifth. Henry VII. Henry VIII. And again, making sure that tick is correct to the one I'm using. This little green one here, if you're wondering what that there is, I've got the Grammarly app on my Google Chrome because I want it. So if you're wondering what that is, it's just the Grammarly one. So I've got 2 questions so far. I've got your basic text. I've got your picture. Let's add something a little bit different. Now, I'm going to go to the multimedia again here. And I think this is one of the things I quite like with it, is that you can record a vocal question. So say, for example, you want to do a question of you saying a Welsh phrase or a French phrase or German or Spanish. You can record it. In fact, you can record all of the questions if you think that that would be beneficial. Unfortunately, though, one of the things that I have found with this is that you can't record an answer. You can upload a potential, like a recording, but it won't let you put it into the answers. That's the one kind of downside I've really kind of noted with it. So let's say I want to put in a recording. I go to record, and then what it does is when I'm ready, so I'm going to go, Earth is located in which galaxy? There we go. Okay, that'll do. I'm not going to use my Welsh. Okay, I do apologize. It's pretty terrible. I'm also going to write it in this box as well. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start adding these in. So again, say I want to have it. We're just going to put these in here. Tick the one that is correct. So now you can see that my quality index is above the 25%, which means they're quite happy with what I've done, and I can publish that. So let's go to my options. What options can I have? Now with this frog one, I can set how many errors they can make. So if they get it wrong, they can go back and they can try it again. I can turn that on, or I can turn that off with lives. So I can put that if they want. I can set a time limit on how long they've got to answer each question. I'm going to take that off because I don't really like that. And you can also shuffle the question order, because there's one thing I found is, oh, what did you get for question 2? Or I put C or I put B. If you shuffle them, then they can't kind of amalgamate them that way. Now you can see straight away with the advanced settings, if you pay money, you know, these are the things that you can do. So what will happen is when they complete the frog game at the moment, it will have like a little league table as to where they are position wise for that. With the advanced settings, you can turn that off. Let's go to information. Let's give it a test. So we'll call it, let's call it Froggy Test 1, because that's for me. Test for the group. Give it an age, 7 years old, law. Now, what they do is here is you add tags. This is like your hashtags you get on social media. And this is because every time I make a quiz, it kind of goes onto their system, because you're able to actually find other quizzes and use other people's quizzes as well. So they like you to put quizzes in here. So I may put space science. That'll do. You only need 3, and that allows it to go forward. Now you can preview it, so I can see what it's going to look like before it goes out. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. There we go. Very nice. So now what they do is they pick which one. So if I go out to the Milky Way, fantastic. Who's this lad? It's Henry VIII. And they're going to go. So let's say they get the wrong one. Oh, so it tells me I got through, but it's going to tell me my score at the end. Did I click the right one? I must have clicked the right one. Oh, I did. Oh no, I've put the wrong tick on it. So let's have a look at that, because I'm pretty sure I made a mistake there. So let's go back to my create. Ah, yes. So it is Venus. That's fine. It's absolutely correct. So when I'm happy, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to publish this. Now, I can share it. I can create a challenge between other friends. So when I go to share, I've got a few options here straight away. I can either share it to my Google Classroom, my Teams, or LTI. I'm not sure what LTI is. It might be something else. I can also send it as a link. So if I share it to Google Classroom, I'll just click that button there. So what happens now, because I'm logged in with my Google Classroom account, I can pick which group it's going to go to. So I'm going to send it to that one there, and I'm going to publish it to that Google Classroom. Brilliant. So what that's done is it's now taken that game and it's set it as an assignment. So let's just go to that assignment in my classroom so you can see what it looks like. There we go. I've set them a quiz. So I can see then who has taken part in it in my quiz. So that way I can see who's taken part of it straight away. I can also, if I go back to my account, there we go. I can share it as well via a link. So if I go to, let's go to the chat box. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put into the chat box for you that web link. So you can now, if you click on that web link, you'll be able to see that game. You'll be able to have a quick go on it. I'll be able to show you how the results are. So if you have 2 minutes, do click on the link, have a quick go. See how you find that. By doing that, I will wet my whistle. There we go. So I can see that so far, we've had 2 people who have started to play it. There we go. That's the names they've put in. I can see what their score was. I can also then break down each individual element. That's the premium one, but I can go back and speak to them a little bit more about it and find it. And it can export to Excel. And I can look at that over a period of time, a day, a month. So you do get those results as it goes through. And again, it's just a little bit of fun. It's a little bit of interesting. Straight away, you can probably start thinking, oh, I could do Welsh phrases. I could do some of the recordings. I could do some videos. It's quite an interesting way of getting people involved. That's using the frog one. So let's look what else is available on this setup. So a while ago, I looked at the video quizzes, because one of the big things I found when I was going out, there's a lot of places, mostly in secondary and higher education, is that they'd whack like a YouTube video up and they go, whack a YouTube video up, watch this video, done. And I was always a bit kind of like, well, what's the point? How are you assessing the learning? How are you assessing the process? Now on here, let's put a title. Say I want them to learn a little bit about Henry VIII. It's all right, good. So I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to write a little thing on here, assessment on Henry VIII. There we go. Knowledge area. Again, you can really pick anything. It doesn't really matter too much. And I'm going to go next. Now, I like to give you these instructional videos, but just listen to me. I'll tell you the answers. So what you can do here is straight away, with this general data at the top, you'll see is if they give an answer and it's like an open, say for example, it's a typed letter, I can adjust it so it's sensitive to capital letters. So they've got to put the right capital letters in the right places. Stresses are for those in Spanish or French or German with the little symbols above the letters. So I can select the video. Now I've got a few options here with the video. The great thing with this is I can either embed a URL. So if I have a YouTube video already know, I can just drag and drop the web address in, or I can type in. So let's put Henry the 8th. There we go. Pick a video and job done. So once I've got my video, all I do is you can see this little slider here. So I want them to watch a question. I'm going to say they're going to watch to, I don't know, you play the video and you get your timings correct. But I'm going to say they're going to that segment to that segment. I'm then going to add a question. And I get a few options here. The type of response can either be single, which is where I want to have one word. It can be multiple, where they give multiple different answers. It can be a written, or it can be a wide written, which means I want a longer text. So say, for example, type of response is, who was Henry's first wife? Go. And I'm going to put the answers in here. So what the correct answer is. Who was Henry's first wife? Someone quick, put it in the chat box and make it look like I know what I'm talking about. But you guys are pretty terrible. It was Catherine of Aragon. Thank you, Catherine of Aragon. Everyone suddenly started going, Catherine of Aragon. Thank you, everybody. Much appreciated. It seems that it's good that you guys are on the ball. So Catherine of Aragon, that's the answer. Now, again, what I can do here is I can add multiple answers. So what I may want to put, if I add multiple answers, they pick which one is the correct one. So, you know, I could put Anne Boleyn, but that's the correct answer there. So I can add multiple ones down, so I can make that multiple choice. If it's multiple, then they have to pick more than one. So it could be like there's 4 options and they pick 2 of the 4. But I'm just going to go to which one is the correct one. There we go. Lovely. Now, feedback is optional here. So feedback is when they've given the question. The nice thing I like about it is that you can give a little bit of interactive, you know, well done, you know, Catherine, she was the first wife, married on 11th of June, 1509, or the 23rd of May. See, I know those things. It's not that I've got Wikipedia on the page here. So you can add that information here. So let's say, for example, I want to whack that in. Go. Brilliant. And I can save and I can continue the video. So I've got the small videos and they're started to put in. I can put my next one. Let's put another question in here. So here's my next question. Say I want to have it as a written one. I'm not going to put who. I'm going to put why did Henry. Yeah. You can write much better answers than that. Now, add answers here is if you want to have certain phrases or certain words that you're looking around. So I would, you know, you don't have to add an answer. It's not optional. That you can just allow them to put something in a box and you can read it back later on. So if you do want to have that, that's absolutely fine. But they, oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of a different application. You've got to put some answers on this one. So you've got to put, now what I would say here is it's all about the phrasing that you use for this one. It's the only thing with these video quizzes, whether they're cap sensitive or they're grammar sensitive or they're spelling sensitive. Think about the questions that you're writing here with regards to that. So maybe why did Henry mess around with the church? Not a great question for this one here. It could be what was the name of the church being married second wife? And then you're looking for a specific phrase. So I don't know. I'll put that there. Now you can put multiple answers. So if you put like that, just in case, you can kind of think about where they may make spelling mistakes and then save and continue video. So again, we're looking for a few more elements. Let's add some of these tags in just to finish this up. Henry can be a tag. There we go. And we're happy with that one. And we publish it. Brilliant. So straight away you can see now and then the question will come up and the student can answer. There we go. And there's the additional information. So it's a great way of making something like a YouTube video a little bit interesting, a little bit different, add some extra questions in there, and very much the same again. When it comes to sharing it, you can send it out back to Google Classroom, bits and pieces like that quite nicely, and that's quite useful. Let's go back to my main homepage here. So under the reports, I can go to my activities reports, pick, there we go. 6 of you have now played this. Average time it took is 19 seconds, well played. I can start to see your scores. So I'm looking at the time and I'm probably kind of whittering on quite a bit now. There are loads of different activities in here. You know, if I go back to some of the ones I've made, the map quiz, I really liked this map quiz one. So this is something, if I just show you this one now. There we go. So the map quiz is one where you upload a picture. So I uploaded, there we go, picture of Wales. And it's how I've put the question here, like click on the aqueduct. So there's certain markers I've put on here. So that's for Ponkarsupbeck Aqueduct. Hey, click on that, great. Click on Eirvidfa. There we go. So that's the map quiz. And there's loads of these little bits and loads of these tools and activities that are on here that are fantastic. The crossword puzzle, build your own crosswords. Again, it's got recording ability, loads for you to play around with. If there are any questions on EducatePlay, please pop them in the chat box and then we'll move on to the next element. So if you've got any questions, please pop them in. I'll be more than happy to show you them now. Thank you. Yeah, great question. How do you search for pre-made? So on the main screen here, you can see the activities. And say, for example, I want one on the maps will be. Okay, well, let's say you're doing ancient Egypt. Rather than you make one, you just type it in this box here, and there's a quiz that someone has made. They've done an ABC of ancient Egypt, whatever this is. Okay. So let's start this one. The god of death. Oh, is that Anubis? Hey. So there's some of these quizzes on here. The map one for ancient Egypt, yeah. Oh, you wait, it gets better on the next one. The next tool, you'll love that one. But yeah, you just type straight in here what you're looking for. So let's say we're looking for the Tudors. There's loads of these pre-made ones. And again, what I can do with these ones is I can share them. So if there's someone who's already made one, that's great. No, pupil information is not stored on the site. So very much like how you guys logged in, it's just for a share link or for a Google Classroom. So if I do it for Google Classroom, the data, it's just like a hyperlink, really, it takes them. Are you able to add different types into one quiz? Complete the crossword, match the following. Not with that one. So Zara, your point there, I think it'll be very much like it'll be either a multiple choice quiz and then you can do a separate one as being a crossword. So it's quite good for differentiating levels. If you want the same sorts of questions, you can have like some of them do a quiz, some of them do a crossword, and you can set that up as separate little elements for them. But yeah, no, you just send them the link. You can even embed it if you use a Moodle or Canva or Blackboard. You can just embed it on that. That's great. Okay, next one. This is QuizWizard, and this is I like this because I like racing. Again, I'm just using the free one here because I am a cheapskate and I've started playing with it already. So the difference with QuizWizard is it's all about getting from A to B. It's kind of like a race, and you can have students race against each other, and you've got power-ups and stuff. So you can have them all synchronously working on it or asynchronously. But I'm going to show you how to make a very basic game. So I'm going to, I don't want that one. I'm going to make a game. There we go. And I'm going to choose a template. No, I'm going to upload my own, because what I want to do is I want to do a race across Wales. So I'm going to go for map of Wales. Let's say they're learning, well, let's do a map of the UK. Let's go for that. Okay. So I'm going to use this here as my kind of like the background for my quiz. So there we go. That looks a lot better one. Good. So I'm going to save that image. Just save it to my desktop. Go to QuizWizard, and I'm going to upload my own background image. There we go. Brilliant. So this here is now my quiz ball. Don't move him. So I'm going to have a race that goes from Cornwall all the way up to the Highlands. Again, you could do your own, maybe a race across Europe, you know, around the world in 80 days, those sorts of things. When they answer correct, they move forward 1 spaces. So I can make that a little bit smaller. We're going to go questions. So here we go, question 1. So I'm going to put that question 1 again. Say that question 1 is the same one. Who was Catherine of Aragon's husband? Oh, okay, we'll change this around again. I really rate Grammarly. If you've not got Grammarly on your browser, please do get it on there. So let's put this in. Henry the VI, Henry the VII, Keith the III. That's the correct answer. And we'll add, well, I don't want a number 1 there. But you can explain the answer here. That's what that plus symbol is. So if you want to add a little bit extra, I can either add a YouTube link. So say you've got a question, you want to put a little video for them to watch afterwards, or you can even record audio. So the nice thing with this, again, is you can record audio. Say, for example, let's go for great work. You got the question correct. Well done. There we go. So now every time they get that, they get a nice little element on there. Let's go back to our board and let's put our second question. We're going to go to my home in Somerset, and we're going to put a question on here again. So this is for, oh, we're going to go back to the board. Oh, I'm just adding these in. There we go. Again, you can make these questions geographical. Let's put another question here, but this time I want the question to be, there's a few options up here: multiple response and numerical answer. I can have it as true or false. Let's go true or false. Now, again, you can have recorded audio. So if you wanted to have the, say you wanted the question in Welsh, or you wanted a Welsh phrase, or French, German, Spanish, and so on, you can record that in there. You ask them to watch a video, maybe get them to look at a picture, and they've got to work out what's going on here. But are eggs real? There we go. Let's add some more questions in. Ooh, drag and drop into text. So this one here, so So if we want to have, we've got to use square bracket. And then we'll put, and then the choices we'll put in, there we go. That'll be perfect. And they've got to put in, they've got to fill the blank in. They can put a short answer, again with a short answer, word or phrase that they have to put in, and you can record it and so on. But we'll just finish that there. Give it a title, Race to the Highlands. Start. The language is Albanian, there we go. And once we're happy, we're going to go finish. And there we go. I've now created my game. So if I want to play this, I can have it as a live race where it's in the classroom, they're on their tablets, they're on their bits and pieces, or I can set it as homework for asynchronous. So if I have it as the live race, I go continue. I can randomize the questions. I can give them power-ups. So power-ups, if they get like 2 in a row, they can like, it's a bit like Mario Kart. So they can like have extra points, or they can like maybe move 2 forward spaces if they get the next question correct and so on. I can play around with it. And then I hit go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do what I would do in my classroom, and I'm going to put this into my chat box. And you can click on that link, and that directly will take you to the main page. And now I'm just waiting for players to come in. I can put a timer. There we go. We've got a couple of people starting to come in. And we're going to go start, because we've got to start the race. So I can see now they're all at the, they're all quite quickly running up the country. Oh, someone's got a power up. And then you've all realized I've only put 3 questions on there, so you've all kind of maxed out. There we go. Oh, well done. Someone got a power up and jumped really far forward. I can kick people if they've been offensive or they've said anything rude to other people, but I'm not going to do that. So there I go. If I go to my leaderboard, I can see where people are. And I can see the results at the end. So well done to that person. But you've hit the wall, yeah. It always helps to put the amount of questions in there that's correct. But you can do this with so many different things. Like if you've got your ancient Egypt, you could do different countries on the way. Maybe you could do, you know, if you've got your history or your geography classes or space and science, it's just a bit of fun. It's something a little bit different. And that race across. Now, the issue I always have with that race across is that a lot of students are just trying to guess the answers. So it's about where you go next with it, sort of thing. But it's quite a nice way. How do you answer the third question? So it would not let me type 6 in. That's because I probably got the answer incorrect, because I put the answer was 7. So sorry, Nicola, that's me and my. I did geography at GCSE. I didn't do history. We weren't allowed to do both, so my bad. Now afterwards, I can see who answered what question, where they got it wrong, and so on. So I can do that. And I can download this report as an Excel spreadsheet. And that's quite a nice little game. So go back. Thank you. So you've got different games you can play with. You can create avatars for it, but we don't want students to create accounts for it. Just do it straight through the log. And it's a little bit of fun for them. So it's quite nice. Now with the free one, you do get to build 4 games to go live, but you know, If you make a game and you're happy with it, you can just delete it and then just make another one from there, or create multiple accounts. That's kind of all I do. You know, Gmail allows you to have 8 accounts. So there you go. That's an easy way to get around saving £10. So the last one. The last one is one of my favorites, and this is called Action Bound. Now for this is a mobile learning app. So you'd either have to use a mobile phone or a tablet for the students. They would need a mobile phone or a tablet. So do think about, I don't want you to spend hours making something and then go, can't really use it anywhere. So the Action Bound is a scavenger hunt game. And if I just show you one that I've created. So I did one for our students at the university as an induction day. So what you can do with this, because it was their first day on the campus, I can set questions where they've got to go around the campus. So, you know, this one here, the question is, the center of the university, a perfect place for a moment of peace. So they had to find, there's this like really nice little sofa comfort area, and they had to walk to it with their phone, then ping, it'll come up. I can get them, this question is take a photo of them by the DFib machine. So they had to go find the DFib machines, where there's quite a few around the campus, and they have to take a photo of themselves, uploads, and I get to see it all. This is like where they take a photo by my office door because no one knows where it is. You can put different questions in here. So I put some like quiz questions in. But it's a really nice, simple activity. And I think straight away for me, this is one where I think it would be great to have, especially if you had, say, like a school trip, or you were going to go to the park, or you're going to create something where you've got a little bit of space where you can still look after people. But you can still engage really. So I'm going to go to New Bound. Yeah, this is a totally free app. So if the students want to download it onto their phones, or even if you want to do it for mates, you want to do a scavenger hunt for friends, they can download it on their phone for free. With the Action Bound account, you can make up to 5 scavenger hunts before they go, okay, now give us your money. So just make one. If you like it, keep it. If you don't, delete it. There you go. Let's go to New Bound. So I'm going to give it a title. I'm going to call it Test. That's exciting. The sequence of stages. Now, I'm going to go flexible with this one. If you go fixed, it means they got to go point to point to point to point to point. Now, fixed is great if you've got a group of students and you want to know exactly where they are. Well, they answer question 2, so they're going to be on to the next physical place and so on. Flexible, where they can go wherever they want in whatever order. It's always useful because when we did on the induction, I didn't want them all just following somebody else, because otherwise that's just cheating. Because the great thing, when you've got it on your phone or your tablet, you get like a GPS arrow locator. So like, oh, it's in this direction, they have to walk. Also saved me an hour of my day. So we're going to go for single player. So, you know, the single player, you can have one device, multiple people. Multiplayer, you've got lots of different solo people. Let's go for the create bound. Oh, okay. There we go. You've got to give it a web address here. So the URL is something that you always got to remember. So say if it's like, I don't know, Mr. Perry's math class. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to create the questions in an order, same as you would. So let's go to my first one. So straight down the right-hand side here, let's go for the basic quiz question. So it does have, let's put a quiz. There we go. Who was Henry VIII? Put the answer. I'm going to get them to put a multiple choice, solution input, correct answer, allowed. Put the settings in. So I can give them multiple attempts. I can also make it they've got to give the correct answer before I allow them to have that next question. They can't have the next clue until they move on from that. If they're really struggling, I can put some hints in there. There we go. I can put a time limit as well, but I'm not going to put a time limit on it. Oh. So there's my first question. It also shows me what it'll look like on a mobile phone. Let's go to our plus one again. Now this time, if I want to do a quiz, I can put in an image, I can put in a video, I can put in some audio. So I can upload a spoken thing. I've seen this with like someone did it's like a science fiction one, and they had like robot voices and all those things. So you can use something like Vocaroo, which is on vocaroo.com. So I'll just put that in the so if you do want to record your voice as an MP3, you don't have access to any recording devices, just use vocaroo.com. You can download it as an MP3, upload it. You can put a maths question in here. So say, for example, if you're going to have a maths answer, so, you know, 3x plus, doesn't give you the full lot, but it does prepare that that's what it's going to be. I'll make it really simple for me because put the answer in, solution input, the correct answer. Oh, blimey, I can't even remember what the question was. 5. All the maths teachers right now say, how dare you get that right? Actually, I think all of you will actually, regardless of your profession. And I can add that in. Now, it has the solutions here if you have more than one potential answer. So say, for example, it's 5, or it could be whatever it is actually correctly. You can put more than one answer in there, and you hit add. Now, they're the boring questions, which is why no one really cares that much for them. This is where it gets a little bit more fun. So the missions are a little bit different. They're about having a bit of fun. Now, there is no right or wrong answer, but it's a little bit interesting here. So I can have a question say, take a photo by the statue of Wilfred Owen. So say they're at the Central Park and you want them to take some photos of some history, or say it's something you want to do when you're out on a school trip and they're in the museum, and you go, oh, okay, take a photo by Wilfred Owen. Now, there's not really, I want them to upload a picture, but they can also upload video, or they can upload audio. So if they upload picture, the source can be from their camera, so they can take a self-taken photo. So you could just use it as a quiz rather than a treasure hunt. So it's definitely something you can still do in your classroom. So this question here could be take a photo of your correct solution to the maths problem. They could write the maths problem, take a photo of their device and upload it. And it goes on, you can have it on your big Prometheus, your big smart board or something. So it doesn't just have to be for school trips, it could be something in your classroom. Because you can really go thematic with it. What else could we have here? So let's go for another mission. Let's say the mission is say the English phrase in Welsh. And the type of solution now, I could have upload audio. So you could record something, submit that. So it doesn't just have to be written, it doesn't just have to be drawn, it could be as an audio as well. And we're going to add that. Now, one of the ones I really like on this, and again, this is why it's something that you could do with your friends if you wanted to, you can go find a spot. So find a spot. What happens now is there we go. Take a photo of the front of Erddig house. And now I'm going to put the coordinates in. So what I've got to do now is, I'm not there. Let's search for Erddig. There we go. And I'm now going to find Erddig Hall. So this is the one thing I would say here is, so if I click Erddig Hall, it gives you quite a large radius. So you don't have to be exactly in the spot. You know, anyone who knows Erddig Hall know that that there is encompassing quite a large space. What they'll have is on their device, they'll have like a little compass will appear, and it will guide them to that next direction of where they got to go. And you'll see, it's quite funny around campus. You see groups of people all running around like this, giggling, adults. And I can click OK. Now I can ask them to hit those coordinates. Once it's hit it, it goes, well done. You can then move on. You can show a directional arrow. I can also get it to show a map. So if you want to have a map there, it does that. But I quite like the show directional arrow. And I'm going to hit add. There's loads of little bits and pieces for this. You know, it's all about where your imagining goes, where you can take it. Maybe you want to do it on the theme of Indiana Jones, and you want to do a history quiz in the classroom or something. The great thing with this is once you've made it, so there's my quiz. I'm quite happy with this. Let's look at the settings for it. I can add some little bits and pieces. I want to add a picture, make it a little bit more interesting. But there we go. Now, before you can go live with it, you've got to take, at the moment it's offline, which means no one can access it. But I'm going to go online. So now it is on, put it online. So now it's live. Now what you get with this is you do get a few things. So you do get this QR code here. You also get a web link. So if I want to put that in the Google Classroom, I can. It also gives you these quite cool start instructions. So if you did want to have something that you wanted to print off, it makes this for you. So it tells you how to do it, what to do, gives you a little QR code, and you can play around with it. And it's quite nice. Now, the great thing is, as the students do it, you have this on your device and you can see the results as they come in. You can see the photos as they come through. So you can track it and you can follow it. You know, if I go back to the one that I did with mine, you know, I had a load of teams running around, the possums, they get points. I put points. You can see there, I won't go large with the photos. This one here, the question was take a photo by my office door. Best thing is that wasn't even my office, wrong office. Take a photo by the post box. Take a photo of a sheep. They found a photo of a sheep, which I thought was very nice. But it was really great bit of fun, and they really kind of enjoyed it. And I think it just makes it a little bit more interesting. It takes quizzing to a different level, moving it away from Kahoot. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat box. Do apologize if I whittled on a bit too long with that, and if the questions weren't that amazing. But hopefully got some ideas there for yourselves to go forward with, and hopefully that'll be quite useful. Please, any questions in the chat box, but if not, I hope that was useful for you and that's something that you can take forward. So thank you. Thank you, Rob. I really do like there is another one called Goose Chase if you want another scavenger hunt one, but I think Action Bound is miles better. It's a lot easier. Yeah, Death by Kahoot. It is one of those things, isn't it? Thank you. The Action Bound one, I think exactly as I think it was Rian who said it, you know, it is something you can use in the classroom, and you know, it's just a bit of fun. And once you've made a really good one, you can just use it again. You can update the questions, get those themes in. It'll be good fun. So, and Educate Play, I think it's got loads of little bits in there. It really does fit in there, and like you can differentiate so easily between the different age groups with the activities. So. Yeah, the GPS tracker on Action Band's great because you can see exactly where they are. That's good. Is it possible to make the radius smaller? No, no. It's so for example, if you were to do it in the school, so if I just show that one just very quickly, yeah. If I so say for example, I've got to take it offline. If I go back in to edit it, say I wanted to do it over school, because I did it on our university campus, which is a little bit bigger. But let's say I put one in, so let's put a question in. I'm going to find a spot. Are you quite happy to share your school? Are you quite happy to put your school in? If not, then I will pick another random school. If I just put one in, if I just put in, say something like Isco Grango, okay, something like Isco Grango. Let's go search. So there's Isco Grango. You know, that's what you get on there. So you can see how it's a little on the university campus. It's a bit bigger, so I can just take them to separate buildings and sort of things. But on here, you've got to really know where it is. I think that's the only benefit of Goose Chase. That's GOOSE Chase. Is that it gives you a little bit more detail on that GPS. But aside from that, yeah, that's the only issue with the course. That's why I think use that GPS one for your school trips or something, because you know I know a lot of children in Wrexham will go for Irving Hall, and Irving Hall is quite a large area and it's quite easy to make out where they're going. So brilliant. I hope that was of use for you. If not, put it in the box and tell me why it wasn't any good and I'll get that sorted. But you know, have yourselves a lovely evening, and I hope the rest of your term goes really well. So thank you.